My name is Vince, and I am CourseCREEK's Instructional Design and Project Manager. I have over a decade of experience in the field of learning and development, and I specialize in instructional design and project management. So I have worked with multiple companies before to design and develop their onboarding, new hire upskilling, and leadership training. And I am here today to discuss the importance of instructional design in building an online course. So most of us here have great ideas, expertise, skill, knowledge that we would like to share to the world through online courses. And in the process, we might get stuck with the challenge of creating a course outline. We have a lot of topics in mind, but we don't know which one to focus on or include in our course. Or how are we going to deliver our content that will make it easier for learners to consume? And that is why instructional design is very important when building an online course, whether it's self-paced or live training or those cohort classes. So let's first define what is instructional design. Simply put, instructional design is the idea of creating learning experiences in such a way that makes consuming knowledge easier and more efficient. This applies to the way your course is structured, designed, and delivered. So if you don't have like a professional instructional designer work on your course, it can lead to an incoherent syllabus, a course that doesn't engage well to your audience, and a course that doesn't properly reinforce the learning to your student. So if you apply instructional design to your course, you will go through ABI. So it is a principle or a structure that instructional designers and training developers use to create an effective and appealing educational experience. And ADI stands for Analysis, Design, Development, Implementation, and Evaluation. Though we won't go through the details of each phase, but we want to highlight these two phases, which is design and development, because this is where most of the work happens. So let's start with the design phase. So this part is where we determine the learning objectives, and from there we can start to do the lesson planning. And we will identify the media that you will be using to deliver your content. It could be a video, it could be some interactive blocks that we can insert in your course. And how are we going to check for the understanding using the different assessment instruments that is also available in LearnWorlds. And what are those activities that we can use to reinforce the learning of your students? Now, everything that we will determine during the design phase will be documented in your storyboard. So this one serves as your blueprint, and this is where we will be organizing your content. So if you take a closer look at it, we'll identify chunk of modules or sections and those different individual lessons, and your instructional design will definitely help you identify the best way to deliver that particular content in your module. It could be, again, videos, those interaction, those reflection journal that you can use so that they can reflect on what they've learned on that particular module, or those assessment or toll gates so that we can check for their understanding. And this one is an example of a storyboard that we created for a self-paced training. And this is an example of a storyboard that we created for a cohort training. So it's quite different because for cohorts, we're looking more at the flow of the discussion and the engagement activities that we'll be doing on your training or during your live training. So after we document everything, we now proceed with the development phase. And this is where instructional designers and developers create and assemble the content assets that were blueprinted during the design phase. And so aside just from recording yourself to explain your content, in this phase, we can use different software and authoring tools to make your content more engaging and interactive. Again, our goal is for your content to stand out to your competition. And one of the most common authoring tool that instructional designers use is Articulate 360. And let me show you an example of an interaction that is created in Articulate 360 or Storyline. So this is an interactive map wherein it gives travel pack on each of the country that is shown here. So this particular interaction is what we call a drag and drop interaction, wherein we can drag an image or an icon to a certain area on your workspace. So for example, we're looking for the country where we can find pandas. So if we drop it in China, that will stick there. Feral horses, let's try South Sudan. If it's not right, that will just go back to the original part. And if you put it in Australia, that will stick in there. So there's a lot of ways, again, for your course to become more interactive with less talking and less video recording. And your instructional design specialist will definitely help you identify what's the best way to make your course interactive. And these interactions can also be integrated to the course builder of Articulate, which is Articulate Rise. All right. And this is like a responsive web-based course builder that allows instructional designers to create beautiful online course with just a few clicks. So we can do storytelling here. This is just an example of a Rise course that we built. This is our onboarding course for our new clients. So you can insert videos here, images, and some basic interactions as well to check for understanding. It's also ideal to explain steps, like this step that we have for our platform funneling. Right. So yeah, there's a lot of again ways on how we can make your course interactive and engaging, and your instructional design specialist will be helping you with that. And all of this can be packaged in a certain file that integrates well with LearnWorlds. So because another thing that you have to consider when you're building an online course is how your course will be packaged. And in the e-learning space, you have to consider SCORM compliant courses and LMS. So earlier, Robert mentioned about SCORM. And just to make it simple again, your course have learning content. It has modules, lessons, video, audio, assessment report, and even the way you track the progress of the learners. And it has to be packaged in a certain way that it integrates and communicates well to various e-learning software and products. So that is the SCORM packaging. And what is the benefit of it? Just like to emphasize it again, is that it ensures that your e-learning content is compatible with your chosen LMS and it can integrate well with each other. So this gives you an opportunity to scale the delivery of your course to business, because you can easily license your course and integrate it to the LMS of the company who wishes to get your course. Because those big companies out there, they have their own LMS. And if your course is SCORM compliant, then you can easily migrate it, integrate it to the LMS of those companies. And that makes your course more scalable and profitable in the future. All right. And next here is the implementation part. This is now how we will be implementing your course to your LMS or your learning management system. And LearnWorlds, again, is one of the kind of LMS. This is how to implement it so that it can reach your target audience. And I'll be passing now the floor to Reed, so that she can talk more details about how we're going to implement your course to the LMS and reach your target audience. Thank you.